Hello everyone, my name is Desola. I'm a fashion designer and you are welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel, welcome to Daisy's Wardrobe. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're an existing subscriber, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And put on the notification bell so that you know when I upload a new video. I'm an African inspired ready-to-wear fashion designer based in Lagos, Nigeria, and I've been in business for 10 years. And so here on my channel, I share things about my fashion business, my journey as a fashion designer, what I do, and pieces about my business and my life. So in today's video, I'm talking about a question that is asked a lot of the time, which is, do you need to sew to be a fashion designer? Or do you need to know how to sew to be a successful fashion designer? First of all, do you actually need to know how to sew to be a fashion designer? The answer is no and yes. And why is it so? I will explain everything in this video. So first of all, you may wonder and say, oh, there's so many fashion designers out there who don't know anything about sewing and they are very, very, very successful. Yes, true. And also, when I started my business, I didn't know how to sew. I knew the basics, the fundamentals about sewing, about fashion, design, but I was not very good. I wouldn't say I knew a whole lot when I started. I started out of a lot of circumstances surrounding my life at that time. I jumped in the water and I took a leap of faith, basically. And yes, in the first 5 years, I was able to successfully get away with it, not knowing how to sew and relying on my tailors do the sewing for me, basically. And all I just had to do was just come with the design, they do the sewing. But after a while, I couldn't get away with it anymore. There's so many things that are involved. As a fashion designer, not knowing how to sew, there are other things, there are other ways to navigate, which is different from my own story and my own journey, and you'll still come out successful. You don't have to have a tailor in-house, you can outsource, you can, so many other things, so many other ways of going about this. But from my own personal experience, I would say it is very, very important. It is very important to know how to sew to be not a good fashion designer, but to be successful. You don't necessarily have to be the one sewing all the garments and everything and doing everything. No, you need to have a good knowledge of how a garment is made from start to the finish. There are so many things that surround making clothes that is more than just sketching, copying pictures. I would say for myself that the moment I went back to the drawing board and learned how to sew properly from start to finish, it changed the trajectory of my business. It put me more in control of my business. And I'm going to talk about some of the challenges of not knowing how to sew and being a fashion designer. And these are things that I've experienced firsthand in my business. And the first one I would say is that as a fashion designer, if you do not know how to sew, are you enjoying my video? Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and put on the notification bell so that you know when I upload a new video. You will not be able to manage your tailors most of the time. There will come a time when they will know that you do not know what's going on, and they will take you for not just a ride, a very long journey. I'll give you an example. Some years ago, I had a design and I communicated with my tailors and I told them what I was expecting, how I wanted it to be and everything. And when the garment was done, when it was finished, I asked, why is this side not the way I want it to be? Why is the bust not cut in a certain kind of way that I explained and told you that I wanted it to be? Oh, madam, it's not possible. I'm like, really? Yes, it's not possible. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I had to change the design altogether to fit what they said was possible. Now this garment was made, and the original design has been altered because they've told me that it's not possible. Years later, I was going through my stuff and I saw one of this same piece. I also made one for myself as well. And when I saw, I'm like, I said I wanted this, that. And they said it was not possible. And now looking at it, I said, of course it's very possible. But because I did not know, because I had no clue of the technicalities of making a garment, it was easy to tell me that it's not possible. That's number one. Number two, you may be very good at sketching designs and saying, oh, these sketches and this, that. If you don't get your hands dirty to know the complexities that come along with making a garment and knowing the kind of fabric that will bring out your sketches the best and make it look the way you want it to look, it's going to be challenging. If you are solely relying on a manufacturer and you're not making the garments by yourself, the thing is, your manufacturer or whoever you've outsourced these garments to, they only know so much about what you have in your mind or what you have in your head. They can see your sketches, they can see your designs. There's only so much they know. Sometimes they may get it, sometimes they may not get it. When you know how to make a garment from start to finish, you know what it entails, you know that, okay, this is what I need to do, I need to cut it like this, it needs to be shaped like that, it needs to this, it needs to that, it needs to this, it needs to that. You are in a better position to communicate what you want, what you desire, as to taking pictures or make a sketch and then looking for pictures to support your sketch. If you understand what I mean, or if I'm making any sense at all. If you're very lucky, you can get away with not sewing at all, not knowing how to sew, not knowing anything about garment construction, and probably you just know how to combine your pieces, know what fabric goes with what. You can be very lucky and get away with it. You can be very lucky in terms of where you manufacture your clothes from, the tailors that work for you. You can be very lucky with them and you not have any issues. But the thing is that in the long run, you need to be prepared for alternatives, because the thing is, life is life. Anything can happen. So in the case where something happens and the things that make your business run smoothly, that makes your design that makes your design come out the way you want it to come out, in an instance where that is no longer available, what is your plan B? If you don't have a plan B, then you are stuck. So it's always advisable that you do know how to sew. Also, if you go to a fashion school or you go to a tailoring shop to become an apprentice, to become a tailor or a fashion designer, one of the requirements that is required of you to pass that program is knowing how to sew. So you may not necessarily be the one making the garments every single time, but at least you have a good idea, a good knowledge of how a garment is constructed. You know how to move from point A to point B. You know, so when these garments are being made, you have an input, you have a say. You know, if you're designing something, for example, I'm a very visual person. I have a very, very good imagination. And if I have something in my head and I want the design to look in a certain way, I first of all ask myself, to produce this design, what kind of cuts do I need to put in place? How does the bust need to be cut? How does the dart need to be? Where do I need to cut the half length from? Where do I need to, what kind of flare, what kind of A-line, what kind of, all those kind of things. So it's very, very, very important, especially if you're going to be a fashion designer for a long time. You want to be there for a long time. I see a lot of people who become fashion designers or start fashion businesses, and they don't know how to sew. They invest so much money into the business. They have everything it takes. They have a storefront, they have a workshop, they have people working for them. And then you're like, wow, this lady is so lucky. She has everything, everything. And a couple of years down the line, you ask, how far with the business? They tell you, oh, I'm no longer doing the business anymore. Why? You're no longer a fashion designer again. Why? What happened? Oh, the stress is too much. This happened. And when you look to the bottom of it, it always has to do with people working for you. So you ask yourself this question and you say, oh, in your mind, do I want to do this for the long run? Do I want to be in this business for the long haul? If you want to do it long term, you want to remain in the business, it's very, very, very important to know how to sew. It gives you control over your business. It gives you control over your designs. It gives you control over so many things that has to do with becoming a successful fashion designer. You don't necessarily always have to sew the garments yourself. Having a good knowledge of the business and having a good grasp of your business is very, very, very important. So my video for today is done. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so and put on the notification bell so that you know when I put up a new video. And so I will see you soon. Bye!